This is Trinesha Catrell, and welcome back to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. I'm so grateful to have you here on this journey of self discovery and empowerment with me. In today's video, we're going to talk about, are you sabotaging yourself? But if you're new here, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on more uplifting and empowering content like this. So get comfortable because we are about to get into it. Let's go. Okay. So earlier today, I'm listening to sermons and I'm listening to podcasts. And as I'm listening through these sermons and going through all these different things, there's one thing that stood out to me, and it was stinking thinking. Sometimes in life, we have our own perspective or the things that we think, and we're like, oh, today's going to be a bad day. I got to tell you this story because I'm going to be real and transparent in this moment, because I feel like that's the best way to teach and to be able to show yourself as an example. Because if I hold back something, I'm not being real. Not only that, but I'm not helping anybody, because it's not going to help me to make myself look good. It's not helping anybody else if I'm just worried about what it's going to appear to be. I need to be real and transparent because it can help somebody. My testimony, my story might be able to help somebody in a way that me being fake will never be able to do. So, so earlier today, I wake up and, I'm still a little bit tired. And so I'm like, oh man, I could sleep a whole nother hour. And as I'm sitting there and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I just want to go back to sleep for another hour. I'm like, no, I got to get up. So I'm reading the Bible and I'm not understanding what the Bible's saying. I'm having one of those moments and I go back over it and I'm like, okay, then I just do meditation. And during meditation, that's when I really hear the word. And so it's like, okay, this is what you've accomplished this far, but this isn't everything that God has for you. He still has more that he needs for you to do in life. And so I took that in. I go to get ready and I have this beautiful pink shirt. It's like this powder pink color and it's looking good and everything else, and I'm about to put on this shirt. Why do I get lip gloss? right across the top of the shirt. And so I in that moment start getting angry. Like, I didn't get angry, but I got a little irritated. I was like, really? Like, first, I'm having trouble discerning the message because I'm reading the Bible, can't understand the words at this moment. But eventually, after meditation, I did get it. And then I get this big, huge spot on my shirt this morning. I'm just like, oh, like I was so irritated in that moment. I was just like, I got real irritated for real. And I went to go like chuck the shirt or whatever, throw it in dirty clothes, because I'm like, I got to figure out a way to get the stain out now because I don't know how to get oils out of shirts. I'm just being real. And so I got to YouTube it, whatever else I got to do to figure it out or shout it out. Not like I'm trying to get shout like a free marketing or anything like that, but it works. And so so I go to get ready and I'm like, okay, I'm leaving late. Like, now I'm leaving later because I got to change again to get ready for the day. And I'm just like not feeling it. I go to get in the car and it's a whole thing. Like, I'm getting in the car, I'm getting ready to leave. I'm going to arrive to work later now because I had to change. And then I didn't work out this morning because I ran out of time. And I'm just like, it was like thing after thing after thing. And I was trying so hard to be like, okay, I don't want this to be my whole perspective for the day. I don't want this to be the way that I'm thinking. And I listened to a sermon that morning before I leave while I'm getting ready, and it kind of helps me a little bit. Then I get in the car and I'm really feeling a certain type of way. Like, last night I was really in a mood and I was feeling like, God, I'm doing everything you asked me to do. What is it that I'm doing wrong in life? Like, I'm really feeling like I'm failing. And and as I was like really in my moment, then I started just hearing this message about losing your edge from Pastor Mike Todd, and it kind of helped me feel a little better that night before I went to sleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I was kind of still feeling like a little in between. And one of the things he said that really helps is prayer and some other things, and fasting. And so when you're doing those two things, sometimes it can help realign it. Most of the times it helps realign you back to your relationship with God, or being refocused, especially when you've had a distraction or you've gotten off course in your life. And so as I sit there just going through it, I'm like, oh my goodness, it just feels like I don't know what's going on in my life right now. And I'm trying to do the best that I can. but I'm also feeling like a little irritated. I'm in that irritated stage. And so I'm trying to be like super grateful and thankful for all the things that God's done and everything else. And I get in the car and I'm on the way to work, and I listen to the old gospel that I used to listen to, because if you have like iPhone or whatever, it shows you the music that you used to listen to and every year. So like it'll say like 2020, 2021, 2022, and it'll be in its own thing, and you can listen through those songs as long as you have iTunes or whatever. So I'm going on there and I go back to 2022, and this is when I first rededicated my life to Christ, and the songs that is playing is stuff that I need to hear at that moment. I'm like, God always knows exactly what it is that you need, even when you don't know what you need in that moment. And I was just gonna listen to music I usually listen to, like the same gospel music that kind of pumps me up every day or whatever. But I was really not feeling it. And if I would have listened to the same thing, it would have been mundane. I don't think it would have affected me the same way that it did when I listened to the older music. And so I'm listening to it and I start to feel a little better. And then I get into work and I'm feeling like, okay, I got to figure out what's going on. Then there was something that happened, you know, earlier today. It was like another thing, and in that moment, I could feel my spirit tugging, like between making a good choice or making a bad choice. Like I could either sit in sadness and just be miserable all day, or I could choose to have a better day. I could choose that this one incident doesn't define me. I can choose that this one messed up shirt doesn't mean that my outfit still didn't look good. Like I like this shirt actually better than the other shirt, so it worked out. So even though I had my mind and my heart set on this other shirt that I thought was going to just be so amazing, I just really liked the style of it, everything else. When I pulled this shirt out, I said, "Oh my gosh, I really do like this one." And this was gonna be one of the ones that I wore later on. I wasn't planning on wearing it this week, but I was gonna wear it like closer to Valentine's Day or something like that, just to wear like pink or red. And and so I go to put this shirt on, and I'm like, oh snap, okay. And I feel like that's how it is when God comes into our lives. When we really decide to take the opportunity to choose better, to do better, when we don't stick in stagnation or have stinking thinking, and we really choose to be positive, it really does change our whole day. We have the opportunity, we have the choice to change how our life is going to be. And we either sit in sadness or we choose positivity. We have to make that choice every single day, no matter if you have a messed up shirt or everything goes right. Regardless of what happens during that day, you can't let one moment define your entire life. You can't let one mistake from the past define who you are. You can't let one decision that you make you think that you're not as good as you are, or you're not God's masterpiece, or you're not something that God created specifically because He knew who you were before you were formed in your mother's womb. He didn't just make you and say, "Oh, you're just gonna be perfect all the days of your life." He made you knowing that you have a few chips. He made you knowing that you'd make a few mistakes. He made you knowing that regardless of what was going to happen in your life, He still chose you, knowing how many times you messed up, knowing how many mistakes you made, and He still didn't care because He still loved you regardless. That's how God is for us. That's literally how He is when it comes to us. He chose us over everything. Like, no matter what decision we made in life, no matter how bad we think that it is, no matter how far we've come and we think, oh, I can't turn back now, I already made too many bad choices. No matter what you've done in life, God will always still give you an opportunity to do better. He will always give you an out. Whenever you're tempted, whenever something's going on in your life, He will always give you an opportunity to make a better choice. You don't have to stay stuck and stagnant in choosing to have a bad day, or choosing that just because you messed up something that now you can't make things right. You can always do better. So, one of the things that the pastor talked about earlier today is giving God giving you a new strength when He tells you to let go of something. Sometimes we hold on to some things in our life, like the food that we know is not good for us, that's bloating us up or whatever, or the person, place, or thing that we just want to hold on to, thinking that that's going to be where our blessing comes from, but our blessing comes from the Creator, not the creations. And so sometimes it's important for us, all the time, it's important for us to remember where our help comes from. It's important for us to remember that we need to embrace the journey. It's not about just being at a destination like, oh, because I'm in purpose, this is where I'm going to be. No, We need to focus on the fact that regardless of where we are in our life, we don't have to be on a stage in front of millions of people to be in purpose. We can be in purpose at this very moment. We don't have to make it to a certain number in our bank account to be successful, to be happy. We could be happy and choose to be happy right now. Sometimes we hold on to so many things just feeling like, oh, that thing is going to make me be what it is that I need to be in life. But that thing doesn't make you. That thing is just a thing. And so as I was going through this day, I was like, okay, one of the suggestions from one of the ladies in the podcast was to focus on two things that you want to accomplish. So today I wrote down two things that I would like to accomplish this year, because sometimes our biggest weakness or our biggest downfall is that we put so much on ourselves that we can't accomplish it. We're like, I'm gonna run a marathon, I'm gonna make $1 million in my business this year, I'm gonna get married. We got all of these ideas of things that we think we want for our life. First, we didn't pray and ask God if that's really what He wants. Second, we got so many things on our list that we are making it easier for us to fail. And I don't mean the normal failure that you're going to get when you're trying. I mean, you're setting yourself up to fail because you have so many things that you're not even giving yourself enough credit. You're not allowing yourself to really appreciate and acknowledge the fact that you already have accomplished so much, or you're already doing. You trying is enough. I'm not saying just try and don't do nothing else. I'm saying try and keep trying and try again. But when you're setting these accomplishments or things that you want to do in life, make sure you narrow it down to two things. Focus on two specific things that you really want to do this year. And this month, work on it a little bit, and next month, work on it a little bit. And the next thing you know, both of those things will be accomplished because your list is short. But everything that you're doing every day, those small atomic habits, are going to break down or compound the compound effect. They'll break down to this big, gigantic accomplishment or goal that you have for yourself. And so I think it's important for us to remember that we need to think big, but start with small steps. The next thing is to be intentional about not reflecting on the past. One of the things that really can hold us up is we'll think about how guilty we feel about the mistakes that we made in the past. We'll think about how much the past has affected us, or we messed up this one thing, this job, this relationship, whatever else it is that you feel like you messed up. And we'll spend so much time focusing on the past and feeling guilty and feeling down on ourselves that God can't bless us in the future. He can't give us the things that He has for us, because why would He give it to you when you're already unappreciative right now? How could He give it to you when all you can see is the mistakes that you've made? You've got to really let it go and know that God forgave you so long ago. You're the only one holding on to the things that you messed up on. You're the only one beating yourself up. You're the only one feeling super bad because you made a bad choice or you messed up something like every single other person in this world, and you forgot to give yourself grace. If the pastor said something that was really helpful earlier today, he said that if you feel like the past is holding you back, or it's something that is leaving you stagnant, then it needs to stay where it is in the past. Don't allow anything to keep you feeling stagnant in your life or to trip you up. You have to remember to just keep moving forward and not to look back. Keep your eye focused on your goal. Keep your eye focused on God, and He will be able to pull you through whatever else it is that you're going through. And also, when you let go of the thing that's holding you back, or the thing that is hurting you or hindering you, it'll cause you to lose sight of your future. You'll be so focused on someone else, something else, that it'll cause you to compare your life to that thing. And it'll make you feel worse than you are when you have everything that you need in life. We really have to take a moment and let go of the things of the past that we can't control. Even things now. If there's something that you have no control over, you have to let it be what it is and just do your part. Do the best that you can. Know that God is right there with you every step of the way. Know that everything that you're going through Most of it is teaching you a lesson, it's for a purpose, a season. It's one of those things. And so, as that moment happens in your life, as you let go, as you move forward in your life, you staying focused is going to keep you from tripping over your own 2 feet. It's going to keep you from getting off course. It's going to keep you from being your own worst enemy. So, remember to focus on your future. Remember to set small goals and small habits so you can get more out of your life. And also, when you're thinking about the past, you have to let the past go. Do not let guilt trap you into not being able to be pushed into your purpose. You have to know who you are and where you're going and change your mindset, because your thinking, your stinking thinking is what's tripping you up. It's what's causing you to be stagnant, and it's what's keeping you from your blessings and keeping you from the future that you could have. There's so much more to your life. You are the only one standing in your way. It's time for us to get out of our way, to really choose positivity, to choose to be better, to do better, to think better, because we can make the difference between living a miserable life and living a life full of joy. And I want to choose joy. So, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.